Man, how y'all feeling, man? Listen, I hope everybody is blessed, man. Listen, I hope you still continue to keep God first, y'all. Listen, I have a great story for y'all that I want to start off with today, right? I have a great story for y'all, right? Because I want you and God to get on one accord, right? I want you to understand that, like, when your car is like when your tires are out of alignment, you're bound to crash. Right? That's why we have to get in alignment. That means when your tires or when your car's out of alignment or it's out of adjustment, that just simply means things are not lined up properly. Right? That's saying like your tires and the joints are not on one accord. Like something is off. Right? And like that's why when you take your hands out the wheel, it veers, always pull one way. And I'm telling you today, like you and God is not going the same way. There's something that's off. You and God is not in one accord. Y'all don't got that relationship, right? And I need for you today to get on one accord with God, because when you get on one accord with God, like the capacity of the things you can do in your life get greater. You get to handle more tasks. You get to do more when you're on one accord with God, right? Like anytime, like in a household, when you and your wife is getting into it, when you and your wife is not on one accord, when she pulling this way and you pulling that way, that causes conflict. That causes friction, right? And nothing goes well in the house. And it ain't gonna be too long before that house start coming down, right? That's why you have to get on one accord, right? It's called getting in alignment. So I want to give y'all a story about two horses, like when two horses train together, right? How much more capacity they can pull together than they can do alone. And I'm telling you today, you'll be amazed. Listen, you're probably great by yourself, but you're even greater with God. You'll be amazed at things you can do. Like if you're doing that if you were successful on your own, imagine what the success you could do when you get with God. When you get on one accord with God. Like God been blessing you and you ain't even been doing the right things. What happened when you start doing the right things and get on one accord with God? Imagine what your life could look like. Imagine the territory that He's going to increase you with. Just imagine that. So I want to give you a story about two horses. It's a is that this alone illustrates the value of teamwork. But more impressive is the fact that when two draft horses are trained together and labor alongside each other, listen, when you and God train together and y'all run alongside each other, watch this, their pulling capacity increased to 32 pounds, 4 times the weight either could have moved alone. Listen, it say when two horses train together, right alongside each other, they can pull 32,000 pounds. That is 4 times more than they can move by themselves. Listen, you so busy focused on you understand that you can pull way more if you just get with God. You can increase your territory way more when you just get with God. You can increase the capacity that you can pull when you get with God. You can do so many more things when you get with God, y'all. We trying to listen, you trying to figure this thing out by yourself. It say when two horses get together, they are trained together. Their pulling capacity increases 32,000 pounds. 4 times the weight either could have moved along. Teamwork, y'all. Teamwork. Get on one accord. Like, stop trying to do everything on your own, bruh. Yeah, you great by yourself, but you'll be better with God. Yeah, you great by yourself, but you'll be better when you get the right partner. Yeah, you're great by yourself, but when you surround yourself with other great individuals, and y'all train together and get on one accord. Watch this. It say when they are trained together and labor alongside. When they labor, that means we're going through the same training, right? We put in the same amount of work right beside each other. We can increase our capacity. Now I'm doing this much work. You doing this much work. Now I'm putting out a weight and you ain't doing nothing, right? And the reason why you and God relationship is off right now because God that gave you everything and you still praying. God has gave you the things He's now. God has gave you so many tools that you need to work with and you still praying. You ain't start doing nothing. You ain't start putting no plans together. You ain't start laying the groundwork. God doing all the work, and that's why the relationship ain't working because y'all ain't training together and put it alongside each other. God's doing all the pulling right now. God done save you from that DUI. God done save you from getting AIDS. God done save you from getting fired from your job. God done save you from so many things, and you still ain't got it all figured out. You still ain't doing the right thing. You still ain't training with God. You still ain't laboring alongside God and get on one accord. That's why until you get on one accord with God, your pulling capacity will never increase. Because you can do way more with God than you can do by yourself on any day. Right? On any day. So I want to go into some. I want to go into the word. I want to show you the reason why it's so important to get on one accord with God. I want to show you why it's so important to like you say, just get on one accord with God. Because in Isaiah 55, verse 8, it say, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts." So let's get that understood, right? We all have our own plans. We all have things we want to do. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all a prime example. Like my goal was like I'm gonna marry my son, mom. Like we're gonna build this great family. I'm gonna build wealth with her. Like I had so many plans, but that was my plans, right? And so when God was telling me, listen, I understand those are your plans, but I don't see that. Right? Like God had so many other things lined up for me that I didn't understand at the time. But they say hindsight is 2020 is like, now I look at today, it all makes sense, right? She's doing great. We have a great relationship. We're raising our son together, right? And it is like, bruh, I didn't get it then. I'm like, God, you want me to get rid of my family? Like, girl, you want me to get rid of my family, bro? Like, nah, this can't be it. And so many things just kept showing up and kept happening until it was like, bro, I just had to realize that God's thoughts are not my thoughts. I had to realize that God's thoughts are not my thoughts. I had to tell myself that, okay, God, I know I have, in order for me to get the success and the blessing that you have ordained for my life, I have to get on one accord with you. I have to get on one accord. I have to understand Isaiah 55 verse 8 that my thoughts are not your thoughts. I have to understand that. And I have to understand also that your ways are higher than mine, that your thoughts are higher than mine. I have to understand that. And most of us got an inverse relationship with God though, because we think just because like that's what we think we do want to do what we want to do, not understanding. Listen, just because you think that don't mean God had that plan for your life. And we get that misconstrued so many times, and that's why we end up jerking off and pulling towards the other way because you and God is out of alignment. It's no different from when your car's out of alignment. When you let the steering wheel go, it veers off into another direction. And right now, you and God ain't in alignment with each other. Therefore, you're pulling into the wrong direction, and you're bound to crash at some point. You're bound to crash at some point. Until you get on one accord with God, you're bound to crash at some point. That's why it's so important for us to understand that your thoughts are not his thoughts. I had to understand that, y'all. And I had to trust and have faith. I had to trust and believe in God that like, hey, all right, God, I know like my thought was to build this family and build wealth with her, but you ain't see that. Right? So let's continue to read. He says, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. Neither are your ways his ways. Right? And like you say, we still got it confused though. Just because you might thought you were gonna work the job 20 years and retire. You seen that. That ain't probably how God seen it for your life. You may thought you were gonna be a millionaire in 5 years. That ain't how God got it. That is not how God had this thing planned out. You may thought you were going to be successful in 2 years. That ain't how God had this thing planned out. You may thought you were going to marry your son's mothers. That ain't how God planned this thing out. Your ways are not his ways and your thoughts are not his thoughts. But once we can get in, sometime, like you said, you might not even understand what God is doing in your life. And it ain't for you to understand at the moment. Just do it. Because your thoughts are not his thoughts and your ways are not his ways. If God tell you to do A, B, and C, and you're guaranteed to get D, you better just do that. You feel me? Just do that. And then I ain't gonna lie. Once I understood that concept, y'all, like once I understood that, like okay, me and God has to get on one accord because I understand that I can have my own thoughts. And God understands that. That's why God simply told us, for my thoughts and not your thoughts. God understands that us as humans, we're going to have our own ways. You're going to want to make your own decision, right? Because you think you're so independent, you have such an independency mindset, like you're going to want to do your own thing. But God simply telling you, listen, I ain't telling you you can't think. I ain't telling you you can't do what you want to do. I'm just telling you what you think and what I think are two different things. My way, how you want to do things and how I choose to do things, two different things. See, sometimes like we like to settle conflict through violence, and God like, those ain't my ways. Those are your ways, not mine. And doing it our way, y'all, never get us the right result we're looking for. Every time I was trying to get money my way, never get the right result. When I was trying to sell life insurance, never got the right result. When I was trying to start my own trucking business, never got the right result. When I was trying to start my pressure washing business, never got the right result. But when I started doing what God want me to do, when I started letting my thoughts align with God's thoughts, when I started letting my ways align with God's ways, I started getting the right result. I started pushing and believing in God. I started reading the Bible more and started preaching. I started investing into the stock market and started teaching my people. Why? Because that's what God called me to do. That's what God called me to do. I started living in my purpose. I had to get in alignment. I had to get on one accord so we can get this car back rolling. Cause I was drifting out for a long time. But it wasn't until I started aligning my thoughts with his thoughts and my way with his ways, when we got the car back in alignment, we was able to drive forward. And then that's why today me and God can pull 32,000 pounds together. Because we work right alongside each other, y'all. We increase the pulling capacity of what I can do versus by myself. 4 times the amount. They say with 2 horses trained together, y'all. They can pull 4 times the amount they can pull by themselves. Not twice, but see, because some of us, watch this. Some of us think relationships should be 2 + 2 = 4. No, because it's 2 + 2 = 4 when you're in a relationship. That means we both just we're no greater than we were by ourselves. I'm gonna say it again because some of y'all might have missed that. You think 2 + 2 = 4 when you get in a relationship. No, that just means we the same. I do 2, you do 2, we get 4. No, 2 + 2 should equal 6 to 8. We should be tripling what we can do together. And if y'all ain't getting better together, what we doing? What we do? If the relationship is not making us better, what we doing? I don't need to be with nobody. If I'm pulling 8,000 by myself and she pulling 8,000 and together we pull 16. No, I'm not better. We should be pulling 32,000 pounds together. We should be doing 4 times the amount we used to do by ourselves. I should be getting better with you. But the relationship with, like, when you get with God, you're going to always do better. You're going to always pull 4 times more. You're going to always pull 5 times more. You're going to always pull 6 times more than you used to pull by yourself when you get with God, when you start aligning your thoughts with his thoughts and your ways with his ways. 2 + 2 don't equal 4 in a relationship. That means we still the same. You produce what you produce. Like, we're no better than we were alone. Like, we're no better together than we were alone. If 2 + 2 = 4 when we get together, we still putting the same amount. We should be tripling it. We should be tripling and 4xing what we used to do by ourselves when we get together. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, if you was out here not like halfway believing in God and halfway doing the right thing, and God have blessed you, just imagine what your life will look like when you get on one accord with God. Like, just imagine that. I just want you to sit back and think on that for a moment. Like, what would your life look like if you was to just get on one accord with God and start living the way he wants you to live? I promise you, it's going to be a game changer, because God done brought you this far. You ain't even been doing the right thing. You feel me? Like, God done brought you this far and you haven't even been doing the right thing fully. You still been trying to do half your way, half his way. Imagine what happened when you do 100% God's way. When you go full throttle into the word, when you go full throttle into the spirit and alignment with God. Just imagine what your life could look like. And so, man, I pray that you continue to keep God first. I pray that you continue to like keep the vision and find your purpose and continue to live in your purpose. I pray that you like get on one accord with God. I pray that you like continue to have, or if you haven't had it, have that solitude time to spend with God so you can find a connection. Talk to God, listen, right? Get in the solitude, put the phones away, get off the social media, and just sit and connect with God fully and get immersed in the purpose and get immersed in the word and get immersed in the spirit. Like really sit down and connect. And I pray today that if you're not on one accord with God, I need for you to start today aligning your thoughts with his thoughts and make sure your ways align with his ways so you can start pulling more, you can start doing more, and you can start having more.